Good evening. Thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity this evening to give an update about our HR department. At the end of last school year, a question was asked about long-term subs and the rehiring of that. And it seemed like a nice opportunity not only to come up before the board to answer that question, but to also give a brief update about the hiring over the summer. Before we do get started, however, I would like to introduce the staff of the Human Resource Department who is joining us this evening. Susan Saylor is administrative assistant within our department, and Brittany Eisenhower is our benefits specialist. Sue has been with us for about 13 years now, and Brittany has been with us for about 1 year at this point in time. And then Sydney Wiesner has been with us for about 4 years at this point. So just a quick introduction for them. Thought it was important that you got to put the faces along with the names. Okay, thank you. And again, this is going to be a fairly brief presentation. Should you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any of them. Human Resources is responsible for all aspects of an employee's career here at Spring-Ford, everything from the time they're recruited and hired all the way through till the very end when they resign or retire. We touch their lives in various ways. We are supporting them with their benefits. We're supporting them as they go through their careers and with their lives, welcoming new family members to their families as they grow and learn. Leaves of absence we do a lot with. My office oversees labor relations and collective bargaining, works with the school board and the personnel committee on negotiations team, the meet and discuss, and other aspects of labor relations, sometimes employee discipline, sometimes in the assisting administrators with performance improvement plans as well. As you all know, I am the Title IX coordinator for the district as well. Our office also oversees all benefits issued to our employees, both those that are given through the school district, such as our medical and dental, things along those lines, as well as the voluntary benefits that are offered. We also handle student teacher placements, field placements with the colleges and universities. We have expanded that list greatly over the past few years, and now we're placing students from about 15 different colleges within our region and looking to expand that as well. There's other areas on there that we are responsible for as well. If anybody has any questions about any of those, we'd be happy to answer them.
Questions now, questions later?
It's completely up to you.
Based on this list, I'm curious, we have 5 people in Human Resources, correct?
We currently have 4. We're still looking for an admin assistant, yes.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see where these breakdowns really
Absolutely.
fall.
I guess just one question, or
And
maybe, were you not done?
Not done.
Oh,
Certainly. So if you have a moment, I'd be
Well-
happy to go over that list with you.
Yeah, you could do it later.
It's completely up to you.
Before, add on now, earlier last year before last, Human Resources presented on EDI. That's no longer within this realm?
It is still within our realm, so it's still a focus. However, that EDI is not being overseen by the Human Resources Department. We would be participating on the committees, but we are not overseeing that, and that's going to be part of the presentation next week, I believe, Mr. Rizzo. Is that correct?
That's excuse me, that's correct.
Go ahead, Mr. Zasowski.
I just wondered if you could elaborate a little bit about the Title IX, because I know that that became a big issue this year for you, and how did that workload increase with the Title IX?
So the new regulations have not come out just yet, unless I've missed something. About 2 years ago, they came out, they revamped the Title IX regulations. That was a lot of training. We had to identify in our school district investigators, decision makers, appellates, things along those lines, and then get all those administrators trained in that area. Anytime there is an issue surrounding students that could potentially lead to a Title IX issue, our building administrators do reach out. They include me in that information. We walk through everything together, making sure that we get all the statements that we need to get, the witness accounts. We look through if there's video footage, bus footage, things along those lines. And then I work with our administrators in helping make that determination. As it gets sometimes a little trickier and stickier, sometimes then we also reach out to our solicitor for guidance as well.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Lisa, yes, if you could proceed and break down the duties, for lack of a better term.
Absolutely. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to start with our admin assistants and work up. So our administrative assistant, who's going to be working with our benefits specialist, will also assist with our substitutes, STS and GHR, and the coordination and helping to place the subs. They will assist with time off data, entry, and the audits. They'll be sending out Medicare Part D notices, sending out reasonable assurance notices, issuing employee ID badges, assist with gathering Act 168 forms. Those are the pre-employment forms that are required by law within Pennsylvania, assisting with offboarding, so if an employee resigns, retires, helping with that information, setting up support staff evaluation forms in Frontline Professional Growth. That is one of the software databases that we use, audits for, they audit invoices for life insurance and long-term disability, submit new hire information to PA CareerLink, and participate in professional development. Our benefits specialist will assist employees with benefits, communicate with vendors, assist with open enrollment. If our employees take a leave of absence, they'll coordinate the benefit. Typically, an employee, if they're out for a longer period of time, they'll go on COBRA or go on a spouse's benefits, and then when they come back to us, they'll go back on their benefits. They work with SwiftMD, which is a telemed service that we use in COBRA. They oversee, Brittany oversees all leaves of absences, FMLA, child rearing leave, sabbatical, workers' compensation, things along those lines. She works a lot in frontline with absence management, with substitutes, oversees some tuition reimbursement pieces, paid time off. There's an upload and a download from Frontline into Skyward to transfer that data over. She'll be responsible for salary letters, board letters. So for leaves of absences that are approved by the school board, she'll follow up with the employees there. She does oversee the sick banks for the groups that do have sick banks, our administrators, our secretaries, and our teachers. Works with, and she'll be working with Sue on a regular basis to help audit the records, and again, participating in professional development. The position that we are looking to hire would be working more with myself and Sydney with the board agenda, board letters, clearances for volunteers, independent contractors, and employees. We do have a software that we use for volunteers called Raptor that we have implemented this year that once it gets up and running, it'll be great, but there's a lot of data to input and there's a lot of clearances and things to check. So that's part of the ongoing process. Be responsible for purchase orders, the medical access report, Safe Schools, which is our training series that we use for employees. Helping keep track of the professional evaluations as they come in. Sydney will be responsible for tuition reimbursement, certification, and emergency permits, active and ongoing recruitment and college outreach, student teacher placements, assisting with the pipeline development with student teachers, assisting with job postings, assisting with support staff interviews, wellness activities, professional development, and helping prepare support staff evaluations. And then for me, overseeing labor relations, Title IX coordinator, recruiting, interviewing, and hiring, the overall staffing, unemployment compensation, and attending unemployment compensation hearings, right to know requests as they come through to me, exit interviews. We are going to be implementing stay interviews this year as well, so I'll be responsible for that. Policy development, strategic planning with staffing, professional development, serving as the rep for personnel. And then we're going to also be adding some professional development activities, not only for our secretaries, but looking at developing a mentor program for our instructional assistants as well.
Okay, so based on that and your current staffing, that's sufficient to address all of those issues, with not one person being overburdened?
That is correct.
Okay.
Currently, right now, we're taking all these duties and we're trying to handle them with the 4. Once we have the 5th person, it'll be spread out the way I just described.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much for having me here tonight. So just a kind of breakdown of some of our staff and just our people that we have that we deal with in the Human Resources Department. We do have just over 1,000 employees at 1,062 employees. Number of temporary employees is 141, so that includes people like our ESY employees, our extracurriculars. The number of volunteers currently is at 1,250, so that is our current active list of volunteers. We're getting more and more every day, but that is where we're at the current time for how many we can have volunteering. And then our number of independent contractors is 340. That includes everything from Interstate and Aramark, who are in on a daily basis, along with our special ed team of independent contractors. And then also that includes different projects that happens throughout the year for maintenance or technology. When they need to have people come in, we have to review all of those clearances. So that's just kind of a big picture of all the different clearances that we're looking at on a pretty regular basis.
And with those clearances, it's not only making sure that people have them, but it's reminding them to update them then every 5 years as well, and then tracking people down to ensure we gather that data. Some of the information as far as the summer was concerned, it was a busier than normal summer. The vacancies that we had for this summer included 19 retirements of professional employees, 24 resignations, and 12 brand new positions that the board had approved. And we did have 8 retirements for support staff, 16 resignations, and for administrators, we did have 3 retirements and 1 new position. And so for this summer, our office brought in about 65 new employees to do their new hire paperwork. Much of the information, well, it can be done through Frontline Central. We've gone paperless in the Human Resources Department, so all new hire paperwork is forwarded via Frontline Central. Employees have the opportunity to go in and complete that information. They still need to come into our office, though, so we can see driver's licenses, we can see other forms of identification that are necessary, clearances, things along those lines. We issue them the ID badges. Superintendent gets an opportunity to meet with them, as well as the assistant superintendents. We did have 15 internal transfers this year and 8 changes of status. So that can be from part-time to full-time, support staff to admin, professional to admin, things along those lines. New hires, we hired 45 professional employees, 5 were subs, and 2 were student teachers. We hired 17 support staff employees and 3 administrative employees. And then for the question that you've all been waiting for, as far as our long-term subs were concerned, STS gave us information from 5 years back. And in the past 5 years, we've had approximately 104 long-term substitutes. So that's individuals who are in an assignment for 80 days or more. That's typically at the elementary level, as people are going out and having children and out for those purposes or for sabbatical leaves, we have the opportunities to bring subs in. What we did is in our current application database, which we acquired in 2019, I went all the way back there, 36 long-term subs had applied for positions, and 20 of those individuals have been hired to fill vacant positions. Please understand that a lot of these individuals were at the elementary level, so they were often competing for the same position as we move forward into the school year. So that's the information on human resources. If you have any other further questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Otherwise, we'll roll right into the instructional assistant proposal.
I got one question, Ms. Lees. How many teachers are we short right now?
Currently, we are short 3 positions at the senior high school for secondary special ed. All the other positions, we are either in process for, as far as final round interviews or collecting 168s.
But how many teachers are we short right now? I understand we're looking to hire, but what are we short right now, today?
3 special education teachers at the senior high school.
Yeah, please.
So similar, my math from the previous slide, so we had 19 retirements, 24 resignations, 12 new, that's 55 new professional positions, right? And yet we hired 45, so I'm seeing 10 unfilled.
Right, so the information that I put up there included those positions that are currently filled, because until we bring people in to sign in and we get them board approved, I didn't count them in those numbers. So when I say we're interviewing and doing final round interviews, and we're waiting on the 168s, I didn't count them in the absolutely have been approved number. There are 1 or 2 positions at the elementary level that we did not need to fill.
Math may not been my strong suit, but 55, 45, that's a delta of 10, and now I just heard you say we didn't have to fill 2 positions, so then what?
No, there was a position at one elementary school that didn't need to get filled. We were able to utilize another contract at another building. Mr. Schaefer, I simply, did not include those positions. So yes, we have 3 positions that I don't have any applicants in the pipeline for right now. I have those other positions that I referred to where we're doing final round interviews and the 168s that will constitute the other 6 positions that are available.
And then I'm just curious because it's obviously not just, it's like, news everywhere. So first of all, have we ever had more resignations than retirements from your recollection? I don't recall it. It's probably not fair for me to ask that. And so we basically started the school year with 10 open professional positions, roughly, because we're a good bit into the school year now, right? I don't recall starting a school year with vacant positions ever since serving on the board.
Yeah, and we have, because typically what we also have to do is we have to wait for other districts to release their employees. They can hold them 60 days from the date they give notice. So for instance, we are waiting for employees to come here as well. So we do have some positions as well. But to your point, yes, we're starting the school year with some vacancies. We've worked hard. We have been doing nothing but interviewing all summer long. And if anybody out there listening knows of anybody who's interested in teaching, please visit the Spring-Ford Area School District website and go there on the Employment Opportunities page.